is CTV News.
Canada Post workers in Windsor are headed back to the picket line. The Canadian Union of Postal Workers is tonight on strike across Canada. Good evening and thank you for joining us. The nationwide strike by Cup W workers is the response to the federal government's announcements today geared to, quote, stabilize the Crown Corporation, which Minister Joelle Lightbound says is in an existential crisis. CTV's Rachel Aiello explains.
We learned today that Canada Post is effectively insolvent, and the situation facing an institution generations of Canadians have relied on is unsustainable. So the government is forcing immediate changes to mail delivery to try and save money.
How and how often Canadians' mail is delivered is changing. Today, the federal government directed Canada Post to end door-to-door delivery, lifting the decade-old moratorium on community mailbox conversions.
I want to be clear. Canada Post has an obligation to serve all Canadians in every community in Canada, and that will not change.
While 3/4 of Canadians already receive mail in a communal location, within the next 9 years, the remaining 4 million addresses will stop seeing mail carriers at their door.
Canada Post will inform Canadians as they go.
Citing reduced demand, Canada Post is also being told to lower its letter mail delivery standard, meaning instead of it taking between 2 and 4 days for small deliveries, it could take up to 7. And changes are also coming to rural post office operations, as recently recommended by an industrial inquiry.
These measures will help stabilize Canada Post's financial situation by generating close to $500 million per year.
Since 2018, Canada Post has lost more than $5 billion and is on track to lose close to $1.5 billion more this year. And stalled labor negotiations between postal workers and management have exacerbated the crisis. Despite the minister's hope this move could bring both sides back to the bargaining table, the union is already sounding alarms about job cuts.
We're not going to take that laying down. Instead of improving the service, they're going to cut the service, so there's going to be nothing left of it.
The government says while it is removing barriers to reform, the corporation also needs to reduce costs and review its management structure. In a statement, Canada Post said it welcomes the changes and vowed to work with urgency to implement them. Rachel Aiello, CTV News, Ottawa.
Meantime, mediation is scheduled to start tomorrow between Ontario's colleges and striking support workers. OPSEU Local 137 represents approximately 685 part-time and 195 full-time support staff members at St. Clair College in Windsor and Chatham-Kent. They work as technicians, technologists, clerks, assistants, analysts, tutors, and facilities operators. 10,000 full-time support staff from Ontario's 24 publicly funded colleges walked off the job September 11th after the two sides failed to reach a new collective agreement. In spite of the strike, St. Clair College's campuses remain open, classes and academic programming continues as scheduled. Now to breaking news out of the White House. U.S. President Donald Trump tonight announced a new round of tariffs. Trump announced a 25% tariff on heavy-duty trucks to protect manufacturers from, quote, unfair outside competition. It's not clear how much this will impact Canadian businesses, as Mexico is the largest exporter of medium and heavy-duty trucks into the U.S. Trump also announced a 50% tariff on kitchen cabinets and 100% tariff on pharmaceuticals. Ontario Premier Doug Ford making waves today as well, announcing he'll put the brakes on automated speed cameras. CTV's Tyler Fleming explains.
The debate over speed cameras,
they do the job and slow the traffic. They're getting a little ridiculous.
Has now hit a flashpoint.
Enough's enough.
On Thursday, Premier Doug Ford announcing a plan to ban speed cameras with a proposed new bill expected next month.
To protect taxpayers and drivers and stop them from being gouged. Instead of punishing people retroactively with speeding tickets days or weeks after the fact, we're supporting practical, proactive traffic calming measures.
If the law passes, all automated speed enforcement cameras across Ontario would shutter immediately. Some cheering the move.
They don't need to be making money off speeding.
But not all safety experts are in the same lane.
The tax grab piece is people need to slow down. If you don't want to get a ticket, don't speed.
Instead of speed cameras, Ford wants to see and fund new safety measures like large flashing signs outside of school zones.
I think that's a good idea. I think it'll get people's attention better than having the speed cameras up.
But the province won't pay to pull out the cameras, a program it once approved of and even expanded back in 2019.
Premier Ford seems to be, he wants to be mayor of all the cities, and I don't know, I think this is something that should be handled at the city level.
So when it comes to the cameras, it's easy to say
They're putting them in too many places.
But some believe
the solution is don't speed.
Because without cameras capturing speeders,
then how do you police it?
Tyler Fleming, CTV News.
Joining me now with local reaction is CTV's Robert Lothian. Robert, what does all of this mean for Windsor?
Well, Michelle, the city hoped to have 5 new speed cameras online by the end of this year. One city councillor wants Windsor to ask Ontario Premier Doug Ford to pump the brakes on this camera ban. Mark McKenzie says there's little doubt the most common complaints that he receives are about speeding.
I think the message that it says is that Doug Ford doesn't actually care about speeding in our residential areas and that he's just out of the loop here.
The Ward 4 City Councillor says the Premier has put himself on the wrong side of the speed camera debate. Windsor plans to have 5 new speed cameras online in school areas this December at more than $1.2 million annually. Tickets are expected to cover the cost of leasing the equipment. Rather than a cash grab, though, McKenzie says any extra revenue is used for other traffic calming initiatives. He adds the city is only ticketing drivers moving well over the posted limit.
I think we need to use everything that we have. We got to use everything, right? And so it's not a one size fixes all solution here. A one size fits all solution here. It's that we got to use everything in that toolbox. And again, if you're not speeding, you have nothing to worry about.
McKenzie says he will be asking for council support to pen that letter to the province. He's also inviting the Premier to come stand on a Windsor sidewalk and just see the frequency of speeding for himself. Michelle.
All right, thanks so much for that. Robert Lothian reporting tonight in the newsroom for us. Meantime, the city of Windsor is set to do a major upgrade at the historic Willistad Park. 50 fence pillars around the perimeter of the park will be restored. The $500,000 project will also see the gates along Chilver and Richmond Street rebuilt. Officials say the pillars have been aggravated by old age and the freeze-thaw cycle over the years. The work will begin on Monday and will continue, weather permitting, until spring 2026. It is expected the contractor, Sterling Ridge, will take a break during the cold winter months. A small group of residents are upset with their landlords, so they took their concerns to the street today.
I'm worried because they charge me $400 more a month. A month. For me and some people, 50% more.
15 tenants rallied out front of 1653 Olette Avenue this afternoon. Their building is operated by the IL Peretz Corporation, which is tied to the Windsor Jewish Federation. Tenants allege some rents have increased to about $1,300. Many of the seniors we spoke with say they're living on a fixed income. Those unable to pay the large increases, well, they say they are facing eviction. We spoke with the president of the Windsor Jewish Federation. They declined to comment.
I just want different people to know what's going on in this building. Because if it happens to us, it can happen to anyone.
Meantime, workers at a retirement home in Tilbury held an information picket today. As CTV's Sanjay Maru will tell us, Hudson Manor workers are upset. They've had to work 2 years without a contract.
Welcome. You got to win this thing, eh?
Understaffed and overworked. That's how the union describes conditions for employees here at Hudson Manor in Tilbury. And residents say they're feeling it too.
They do everything. If we want something done, or if we're lonely, or if we can't sleep at night, they're there for us.
Fair wages! Fair wages!
25 employees take care of 37 residents here, and that includes assisting with bathing, dressing, medication, meals, and housekeeping. The union says members have been working without a contract for nearly 2 years, many of them earning just a couple dollars more than minimum wage.
Being here for 23 years and not making $20 an hour seems to be really hard. We're training people that make almost as much money as us, which we just want a fair contract.
Longtime staff say that's led to high turnover, new hires often leaving within months for better pay elsewhere.
They come, they train here, and then they can find out they can go to Bell River, Chatham, and make $25 an hour, $27 to start.
Because this is a healthcare facility, workers cannot legally strike. Instead, they're restricted to information pickets like this one, hoping to pressure the employer back to the bargaining table quickly.
He's taken advantage of the staff that love these residents, come to work every day for the residents. They're frustrated with the not getting raises properly. They just want to negotiate a fair, decent contract for a living wage.
In a statement, Hudson Manor says it has been actively engaged in bargaining with Unifor Local 1941. The company says at the union's request, both sides have agreed to arbitration. That is scheduled for February 2026.
If we have to come out and do it again, we will. We're trying to get this employer to the table and realize these workers are worth getting to the table and giving them what they need.
In Tilbury, Sanjay Maru, CTV News.
Enrollment is up at the Windsor-Essex Catholic District School Board. Director of Education Imelda Byrne says there are more than 750 new students. Enrollment now totals 15,000 elementary and 8,500 high school students. There are also 1,000 adults at St. Michael's. Byrne credits the growth to in-demand programs like skilled trades, STEM, and the International Baccalaureate. She says it means the board will get more funding per pupil to help pay for ESL supports, literacy tools, even classroom furniture. Plus, she says they've also hired 66 teachers full-time. This is the third straight year for enrollment surpassing expectations. CTV meteorologist Gary Archibald has your full weather details coming up in 2 minutes' time. Then later, we've got your Windsor Spitfire highlights as they take on the Sudbury Wolves.
5K a day is back on 93.9
Virgin Radio.
Listen to Hannah and Johnny in the morning for your chance to win $5,000
every weekday.
5K a day.
Virgin Radio.
CTV meteorologist Gary Archibald joins me now with a full look at that sunshiny weather.
Sunshine for tomorrow, Michelle. I think Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I'm losing track. How many days is that? Could be 7 or 8 days straight. Imagine that. After a significant rainfall event yesterday, severe weather in the form of thunderstorm activity rolled through a sliver of extreme southwestern Ontario. There were steady rains throughout at times during the morning towards noon, but one particular area got hit hard and will dry out with all of this sunshine. Ridge of high pressure will be in place. Reached a high of almost 25 today. Our average high is closer to 2021 between Windsor, Essex, Chatham, Kent. Some scattered showers over Michigan are moving into southern Ontario as I speak through the overnight, but it is sporadic and very light if we see it at all. I don't anticipate a deluge of rainfall. In fact, the next 24 hours is likely to be rather dry right across the board for southern Ontario. If we do see any cloud cover, it will likely form at the surface. Fog could be an issue. Dissipating, I would say, between 8, 9, 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. After dawn, increasing clarity and sunshine with warm temperatures building into the forecast across the region. By the way, just to give you an idea of how mild it still is, our average low, that's pre-dawn, early, technically tomorrow morning, about 10, 11 degrees Celsius. We're looking at 16, some areas might even see 17 under a partly cloudy sky. And the wind is calm. It should be a very quiet night. Calm is the story in terms of the wind, really, throughout the morning, midday, and afternoon. Sunshine is the story, especially in the late morning, afternoon, towards dusk. We'll see a high of 24 between 4 and 5 p.m. And at that peak, it will feel like about 29, very summer-like in this early part of the fall season for 2025. So, fog, any cloud dissipating, moving out of the region, and gives way to sunny conditions across the board. Then some more sunshine from Friday afternoon into Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. The icons reveal the major theme, and temperatures are averaging close to 25 over the next 7 days. Enjoy. Use your sunscreen. You know me. Sunscreen. Protect yourselves. And that's a look at your 7-day forecast.
Sunshine is welcome in Harrow and Colchester, where dozens of residents are likely still trying to clean up from Wednesday's storm. We sent our Chris Campbell out to Essex County today to survey the damage.
It was like nothing I've ever seen.
Essex residents near Harrow and Colchester woke up to clear skies and drying basements after yesterday's sudden downpour caused widespread flooding and road erosion.
Unreal. Hope we never see it again.
This road here from here to the corner was underwater.
So far, the town of Essex logged 50 flooding complaints.
We got all the rain that we needed all at once, over 5 inches in 2 hours.
At the height of the storm, County Road 50 was closed between County Road 41 and Right Side Road. Crews worked all day to get it repaired, while impacted residents tried to mitigate their own damage.
We're going to have to dig a trench and put some tile down in between the houses in order for that to not happen again.
Yesterday was, it's nothing out of the norm. We've seen this happen more than once in recent years. It started off as just a rainfall and it kept coming, and people probably weren't prepared for it. I don't think anybody can prepare for these storms that are happening more often than not.
Local businesses like Home Hardware were busy as residents stocked up on sump pumps and supplies to keep the water at bay.
I feel for the people. It's bad. And, I don't know. These storms are happening more and more frequently. I think something needs to be done to control the water and get it out, whether it's retention ponds or something that can direct this surge of the storm water, because it's a lot.
We are still encouraging residents to contact a plumber. Have a plumber check out, do you have a backup sump pump? Are your eaves troughs connected into that storm water? Do you have a backflow valve? Those are the main things that residents can do to support and protect their own asset.
Mayor Sherry Bondi says the town continues to promote its subsidy program for backflow valves and sump pumps, but she's also urging residents to take part in shaping Essex's long-term flood strategy, encouraging people to come out to an upcoming budget meeting on October 2nd and a drainage public open house on November 26th.
I'm encouraging residents to come out to talk about their budget priorities, and if they want us to, stop spending money on roads, stop spending money on parks and rec, and put as much money as we can into flooding infrastructure, that's something we can talk about.
Chris Campbell, CTV News.
In Windsor, charges have now been laid after a driver left the scene of a collision. Yesterday morning around 5:30, a motorcycle was struck by another vehicle, but the driver left the scene. The motorcycle rider's injuries are described by police as non-life-threatening. Today, Windsor police announced they located the driver of the other vehicle. A 62-year-old has been charged with failing to remain. Meantime, police were back again busting a downtown Windsor psilocybin dispensary. Officers seized 15,000 in illegal drugs from Fun Guys. It is located right downtown. This is the 8th time police have raided it, seizing magic mushrooms, and they've laid charges. This time, a 52-year-old employee is charged. Police also seized $3,000 in cash. To Superior Court, where the jury learned details of an autopsy on a Windsor woman killed in 2023. A warning, the details will be upsetting to viewers. As CTV's Bob Belichico reports, Sarah Boulet's cause of death, could not be determined.
Day 7 of the Brian Marbury murder trial focused on graphic forensic evidence as a pathologist took the stand to describe the condition of Sarah Boulet's body following her disappearance and death in 2023. Dr. Elena Tuguleva, a forensic pathologist, performed the postmortem on June 7, 2023, a day after Boulet was officially pronounced dead. Boulet had been reported missing a week earlier on May 30th by a former staff member at the Hiatus House, a local women's shelter. Dr. Tuguleva told the court not all deaths warrant an autopsy unless there's a matter of public interest. In this case, one was necessary. She testified that Boulet's body arrived wrapped in a fluid-soaked bedsheet and was in a state of moderate to advanced decomposition. Evidence of insect and animal activity was present. There was also visible injuries that pointed out to trauma before she died. One of the most significant findings was a laceration on the upper left side of the scalp, consistent with a blow from a blunt object. Tugaleva testified that the wound likely occurred around the time of death. Other external injuries included bruising at multiple spots on her body. Internally, the pathologist found hemorrhaging in the chest, as well as a broken right shoulder blade and multiple rib fractures on both sides. Quote, "There was no sign of healing," she testified. A key point, as Tugaleva suggests, the rib injuries occurred before death. Dr. Tugaleva ruled out strangulation and said cause of death is undetermined. In his cross-examination, defense lawyer Ken Marley suggested to Tugaleva that she couldn't say for certain if any of the injuries are tied to Boulet's death, to which she answered, quote, "No, I cannot." The trial continues Friday. Bob Belichico, CTV News.
On the markets, the TSX lost 25 points, and in New York, the Dow fell 174. The Nasdaq dropped 113. The Canadian dollar is down almost a fifth of a cent, and on commodity markets, gold gained $3 an ounce. Oil lost just a penny a barrel.
Would you text your ex for $10,000? 89X is back. Listen for the keywords and text your ex. It's never been more rewarding to get back with your ex. Only on Windsor's Alternative, 89X.
Start your day with the latest local news. By signing up for our newsletter, you'll get direct local content straight from CTV Windsor to your inbox, including top stories, the forecast, and videos. You can sign up at ctvnewswindsor.ca.
In sports tonight, the Sudbury Wolves are in Windsor to take on the hometown Spitfires.
Dish is in front of the net, in tight, they'll score, they lift it over top of the goal. What a shot, and a Spitfire 2-0 lead.
That's John McLaughlin scoring for the Spits. He would sink 2 goals for the hometown squad over this game, both of his goals coming in the third period. Nathan Games scored his first of the season, but that was back in the first period. That got the Spitfires rolling tonight at the WFCU. The Spitfires were out shooting the Wolves through all 3 periods of tonight's game. Then Jonathan Brown getting the puck in the back of the net for his first career OHL goal. Congratulations. Spits take this one handily, beating the Wolves 4-0. The Windsor Spitfires are now 3-0 on the season. The Windsor Lawn Bowling Club is hosting the very best in the world. The Canadian men took first place at the Atlantic International Challenge against the United States, Scotland, and Ireland. The games all being played near Jackson Park. The women finished third, as did the able-bodied team. The Zares International Open got underway today, and it's been a very good season for local lawn bowlers.
There's nothing else like it in Canada for the last 30 years, as you know. Our members have been excited. Like, they've just worked so hard on this, and they're seeing the results now.
Then you got tomorrow, another one starting.
Yeah, tomorrow is a Pro-Am where all the players on the international side in this event will be matched up with non-internationals in a friendly but competitive event, and it's the Zares International Open. You know, an $8,000 prize pool. That's unheard of in Canada.
Statistics Canada says the country's population saw near zero growth for a second straight quarter. The agency says the population reached an estimated 41.6 million people as of July 1st. That's an increase of just 47,000 or 0.1% compared with April 1st. The number of births across Canada, however, surpassed the number of deaths by more than 13,000 during that time. This is the second lowest growth rate, however, for a 3-month period since the second quarter of 2020, when growth nearly halted, of course, because of border restrictions due to the COVID-19 pandemic.
Discussion here at Windsor City Hall.
Windsor's top stories.
A major project is about to get underway.
Breaking news alerts.
Severe weather is a possibility.
And watch live.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us.
Download the CTV News app.
CTV meteorologist Gary Archibald joins us one last time with a look at weekend weather.
Yes, sunshine's the story. Over the next 24, 48 hours, maybe 72. Let's say 96. Oh, let's go beyond that. 120 hours? My goodness. Let's add up the sunshine icons. Even Friday counts because the latter stage of the morning we'll see a beautiful clearing. It is sunny, it is warm, temperatures in the mid-20s at least through Wednesday, and even a week from now, Thursday, I'm anticipating this ridge of high pressure that will keep us fair and clear and sunny in place. We'll just be cooler as the wind pattern changes. So enjoy it. Sunshine, the story. And UV index is going to be high, so remember, sun blocker, sunscreen, very important. Let's look at your weather. Good night.
Thanks so much, Gary. Well, it's been a big day for a jazz musician from Windsor. Russ Macklem is celebrating the release of his second album. The record is called Introducing the Russ Macklem Detroit Quintet and showcases the trumpeter's working band of the past 2 years. Unlike his first recording, a live session in 2023, this album was produced in studio inside a converted church near Detroit. Macklem says the new project reflects his growth as a writer and performer and his close ties to the Detroit jazz community.
When I recorded the first album, I was still pretty kind of emotionally raw from the pandemic. But since then, I feel like Detroit has been kind of my musical finishing school. I gained a lot of sort of maturity in both my playing and my writing.
That's all the time we have for now. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you for supporting local news. I'll see you back here tomorrow night at 11.